Okay, what I'm going to show you to do now is how to add a simple product on Magento. So we've logged in. Obviously you're used to doing that anyway. Using the top menu, we then go up to Catalog and then Manage Products. Now even though we're adding a new product, we still need to go to Manage Products because it's managing products in a wider sense. So click on that. And then we'll just go through on a screen by screen basis. Now this site has already got some products loaded on it already, which you can see listed down here. If you wanted to edit one of those, then simply click edit and go on to that and change whatever you need to. But as I say, we're going to add a new one here. So we've got up here on the right, you'll see add product. Magento really is quite straightforward to use as far as the CMS system, content management system, to load new products and categories and so on. So once it goes into the new product screen, I'll leave the attributes set as default and product type as simple product for this, because as I say, we're just adding on a simple product. Click on continue, and then we go into the actual screen, which is for managing a new product, to add all the details in, which we'll just work through step by step and cover each element as we go. So down the left hand side, you'll see we've got a number of different tabs with various things, but as I say, we'll work through those one by one. And just to show you as well, we've got the buttons up here. Back is obviously self-explanatory. Reset will clear the whole lot of whatever you put in. Save and continue edit means that you will save whatever it is you've changed and you will stay in the same screen. If you've completely finished whatever it is that you wanted to do, just click save, and that will then take you back into the previous managing screen. So if we start off by general, I'm not really going to fill this out completely because obviously it's just for demonstration purposes. So this site is all safety related products and so on, so I'm just going to call this Sam's fire barrier, and then say something like top level. This is for the full description in the products. You've then got short description as well, which you can easy enough just copy whatever it is you've written in the main description and perhaps just put the first one, or we might want to put something different. WYSIWYG editor, if you're not familiar with that, WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. So if we click on there, that will change the interface. You'll see it's pulled through the text we've already written in, and it gives you a screen much more like Microsoft Word, for example, or perhaps WordPress, something like that, that you may find a bit more familiar and perhaps easier to work in. Obviously, if you're not used to writing HTML, it's a lot easier to do it this way. It allows you to put things in bold, for example, and we'll just do submit, and you can see that straight away that's converted that into HTML there. Moving on down, SKU, that stands for stock keeping unit. Really this is designed more for people that have got large warehouses and loads of different products and so on. Or of course you might be in a situation where you're drop shipping, in other words you've got someone else that does your order fulfillment, in which case you'll need their references. If it's not something you particularly use because of the fact that you have to put something in, then let's just call it Sam's fire barrier 1 for argument's sake. Weight only really comes into it if you're in a situation where your postage, carriage charges are done on a weight basis, and you've got them entered into the table, which we'll go into elsewhere on a different tutorial. There's no default unit within Magento itself. It will take the unit from whatever rate tables you've put in for your shipping cost. If you're working on the basis that you have just a flat rate, then again it doesn't really matter what goes in here, and if you want to render it useless, then effectively just put a 0 in. Set product as new date. You only need to fill either of these two parts in if you want the product to actually be marked as new on the website. If you want it to just appear, then leave those blank. Status, fairly self-explanatory, choice of enabled or disabled. You may have products that, for example, are perhaps seasonal or only are available at certain times of the year, or it's just a limited run that you've got a few of, and you think you want to leave it on the system rather than delete it off, in which case you can just disable them. But for most products you're going to have them as enabled. URL key, it will actually write itself, so it's not something you need to fill in, and again it depends on how you've got it set up within the configuration what it will write there, but that's basically going to be the URL specifically to this product. Visibility, you've got the choices here. Not visible, pretty self-explanatory again. Catalog means that it will show up in your navigation menu, so you might have products and then fire barriers in this case, and it will show there. Search will be that you can find it through the search box that, generally speaking, is at the top right of your screen. And catalog and search is that it's both. You will find that the default is most likely to be set up as catalog and search, in which case I would suggest you leave it as that. Allow gift message, you've got the choice of use configuration, so that will then default it to your global settings that you've got. And then you've got yes or no, is then making sure that when you put one of those answers, it will be specific to the actual product that you've got in here on this screen. So for most people, again, they want the same settings site-wide, in which case leave it on use config, so in other words that's use configuration. You can see now we've made some changes. There's a little symbol here, which I don't know if you can see it clear enough, but that's a little disk sign there to show that changes have been made. So we can just leave that and move on to the next tab down, or we can choose to do save and continue if you rather save your work as you go along, in case you get a bad internet connection or get interrupted or anything like that. So moving on down to the next tab, we've got prices, fairly self-explanatory, and again how you put them in here will depend on how you've got your tax settings set up. So again, this might be something that you need to speak to your developer about, of what the actual settings are within it. It will depend on, if you're UK for example, whether you're VAT registered or not. I'm just going to put in straightforward figure, £545.99 here. You can add a special price in, so for example if you want to give a bit of a discount but you want to show what the original price was, then you can put it in here. So I'm going to leave that blank on this one. Special price from and to date, again self-explanatory. If you've perhaps been offering out a discount via email or something like that, and you can say it's on for 1 week only, or again something that's seasonal, coming to end of stock, whatever you want really. Cost, you can add this in if you want to use the system to actually manage the profitability of your site and keep a track on that. And tier pricing depends on whether you've got, perhaps, say for example, distributor customers or high volume customers that you give a discount to, but again that's something really to speak to your development team about. Tax class, you've got the choices of none, taxable goods, or shipping. Reason taxable goods and shipping are separate is because certainly in the the UK, if you've got Royal Mail, for example, that are doing your postage, then it will be 0 rated for VAT. Whereas if a courier is doing it, then it will actually be taxable. So again, it depends on how you've got it set up. But for most things, you're going to be taxable goods, and is a product available for purchase with Google Checkout. Again, something that's fairly self-explanatory. So the only ones that you'll see are mandatory here are price and tax class. So we'll move on to the other tabs in the next video, and that just gives us the basics now to work on.